Hello everybody and welcome to the first FIFA career mode experiment on my channel. As the title suggests, what we're doing here is we're essentially flipping the English leagues upside down, which means Premier League clubs will obviously be in League 2 and then League 2 clubs would obviously be in the Premier League, and the middle kind of fills out as well. What you're seeing in the background is a slightly speedy version of me going through and doing it. It took about 15-20 minutes doing this in the end, making sure it was all right and making sure I hadn't cocked it up by like missing one and having it all completely ruined. So basically just to give you an indication into what's going on, the Premier League is now we'll go from League 2. Actually, it's easy to explain going from League 2. League 2 is now the 20 Premier League clubs and the top 4 Championship clubs as of me making this video. League 1 is then the rest of the Championship, and again the top 4 of League 1. The Championship on here is now the rest of League 1, and then the top 4 League 2, and then finally the Premier League has the last 20 League 2 teams. Basically, the aim of this is to see what can happen with, obviously, the Premier League money with League 2 clubs. What happens there? Obviously, they're going to be growing financially a lot quicker than they would in real life. And as for the Premier League clubs in real life, starting in League 2, obviously, basically, the quicker you can get out of League 2 and quicker you can get back, the less impacted you will be. So it'll be interesting to see if any of them can get back and just instantly claim their top spot in the Premier Leagues. Obviously, you're looking at teams like Man City's, Man United's, Liverpool's, and things like that for that. And what League 2 club can make a claim and become the top team in England? Also, obviously, there's European football as well. Basically, the best teams in League 2 in real life in the Premier League on here got European football. I'm sure it goes as well as you'd think. But yeah, anyway, that pretty much wraps up the little intro section of it. We're now going to jump ahead and we're going to start at the end of Season 1. So here we are at the end of Season 1. As you can see, we just went with Coventry and we didn't do very well. I just simmed it all, by the way. I didn't actually play anything. So don't look at that rating and take it for something I did. So yeah, I haven't actually looked at anything. Obviously, you can see Coventry just stayed up in the end, probably because most other teams have been spending money. Because as you can see, wage budgets and things have gone up exponentially, as has money. We'll look at money in a minute just to see how much money. Coventry came 17th, so you can just imagine. And obviously, having played career mode, you know how much money you can get in the Premier League for finishing higher up in the table. You get quite a bit. Anyway, yep, let's get straight into it. We're gonna, I suppose looking at other leagues would be the easiest way of doing it, because you get all 4 divisions on there. So we're gonna see who has won the Premier League now. As you can see, Crawley Town, blimey, they've absolutely blitzed it, haven't they? Really, 12 points. So big up Crawley Town. They've done wonders there. They've got quite a gap there. Not quite Man City in real life, is it? But still quite a gap. Then you've got Man City, you've got Lincoln and Colchester filling out the rest of the top 4, so they'll be playing in Europe next season. Forest Green getting a good old 5th place. Relatively close between those 4 sides, so the battle for Europe looked a little bit tense, I suppose. Getting relegated, it was Carlisle, Port Vale, Swindon. As you can see, the amount of points Swindon managed to get, as you can see, normally in the Premier League with the 38 games, 40 points is considered the safe mark, but Coventry only just survived on that 39 points. We're going to have to look at all the various transfers, because it looks like there was a bit of a madness by Crawley at least. But yeah, anyway, this is the Premier League table in the first season. Crawley Town winning it, Mansfield, Lincoln, Colchester in the Champions League, Forest Green getting that 5th spot, then Stevenage and Notts County. So yeah, let's look at the Championship now. Oxford United. Oxford United have gotten through here. Obviously, we're going to have to guess, because I don't think there's any way of looking at the playoffs for leagues you're not in, which is a bit of a bummer. It should have all information, really, shouldn't it, on here? So if I can think of a way of looking, then I will, but we don't know who got up from the playoffs. But we do know Oxford and Bradford will be in the Premier League next season. And then Charlton, Portsmouth, Scunthorpe and MK Dons get in the playoff spots. Now that's not really surprising. They're all have been relatively up there, apart from MK Dons, who on paper shouldn't get relegated in real life, but they have. But we can all laugh at that, can't we? So yeah, looking further down, unsurprisingly, a few of the because obviously this is the first division where there's a mix of teams. Obviously we got the top four in League 2 with the rest of League 1 in this, so Accrington getting relegated is not surprising. Same with Exeter down there. As for Luton and Wycombe done alright, didn't they? 10th and 11th. However, I think we're most interested. We're getting into the interesting parts now, because we're getting close to having some Premier League opposition. As for League 1, Derby and Leeds will be making an immediate return to the Championship. After that, Nottingham Forest, Reading, Millwall and Norwich got in the playoffs. So that's interesting. As for the bottom four, the relegated four, not too surprising. Again, two of the four League 1 teams in real life are in the relegation zone, Shrewsbury and Rotherham. Barnsley and Burton going down as well. Wigan just about, well, I say just about, they had an 8-point gap. Staying up, and now probably the most interesting league, League 2. Let's see who, because obviously the longer teams stay in here, the more they get left behind. So Manchester United, Tottenham, interestingly enough, and Chelsea have got automatic promotion. Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool and Everton having to fight it out in the playoffs. That's not too surprising, I suppose, that order. It would be really nice to know if Man City didn't get out, because Man City are probably a team you expect to win the league, but Man United with 103 points, that's not bad, is it? Spurs a little bit behind, and Chelsea, that sort of fight for the second and third spot probably went down quite close, because 4-point gap between second and fifth, so that's quite interesting. Cardiff finishing bottom, obviously the four Championship teams, the top four of the Championship are also in here. Out of them, it looks like Fulham did better than Wolves, which is a bit shocking. Who's the other one? Aston Villa came 13th, so well done Aston Villa. It looks like there was a little bit of a gap between there's a lot of gaps really, actually, weren't there? There's a bit of a gap between the top half and the bottom half there, but those are the leagues. Transfer history, let's have a look at... Oh, it's going to take a while, isn't it? So any madness ones that we can find. See, Notts County could only get some blokey on a free agent. There's not many. Cheltenham Town signing and Calstrom, so the signings don't change too much. Actually, let's go. That'd be probably the cleverer thing to do, wouldn't it? Let's go by price. Is there any League 2, well, Premier League clubs in real life bit involved in any of these? Rashford went to Inter. There's literally no money being spent whatsoever by any English club. What this is really doing is just killing English football, isn't it? In comparison to Europe. Yeah, there's nothing particularly. There's no real big transfers going down. If we hang on, I don't know how much this would show, but as you can see, budgets in the Premier League haven't changed at all. Let's look at... Did Crawley do anything? Because that's the first thing I want to look at. Did Crawley do anything particularly major? Not really. No, they're just... For some reason, Crawley were just good. Okay, that's a bit shocking. I always fall for that. League 2, did anything go down? Doesn't look like it. So interestingly, nothing's really happened in terms of transfers and things like that, which, like I say, if anything, this is just going to make English football fall behind, isn't it? What we got to check still? Oh right, fixtures. I don't want fixtures. I want what happens in the cups, because surely Man City won the FA Cup, right? Is there any? There's not really any big surprises there. So Man City, interestingly, if they didn't get promotion, they have League Two football and European football. So Man City won the FA Cup. The only team of note was Luton. Luton did all right, didn't they? In the they would be in Championship in real life, wouldn't they? So, other than that, it's fairly straightforward. As for the Carabao Cup, Chelsea this time. Leeds Hull got to the final. That's relatively shocking. So did Fleetwood. Rochdale got to the quarters. Obviously, the first season, not much is going to happen. It did an English club somehow fluke its way to the... No, that's not surprising. Obviously, I had to put those League Two teams essentially in Europe. So let's actually go back to Champions League. Did any of them get any... Carlisle did alright, didn't they? Let's be fair to them. 4 points, that's not bad, is it? They were quite unlucky to miss out on EuroLeague, really, weren't they? Notts County got the good old 0. Coventry got 4 and all. And Celtic got 3, so we've really messed things up here, haven't we? But it's shocking that 2 of them got 4 points. Mansfield got 4 points. Lincoln got 4 points. I think that's it after that. You know what? That's not a bad showing. That is not a bad showing whatsoever. That's quite shocking, really. I didn't expect many of them to get points. There's only... Oh, crap. Didn't want to go in the World Cup. Come on. Alright. There's only 2. Just checking I didn't... No. There's only 2 in the Euro League, so... Finding these is my... Swindon got 3 points, a little less impressive. And... Newport County got 2 points, so the Euro League showing was a little bit pathetic. Sevilla won that. What do we want to... Is there anything else we want to check? Not really. I think, like I say, if we look at finances, £101 million. Obviously, most of that is through finishing 17th in the Premier League, £76 million. So we'll skip forward a little bit. We'll get into next season. I'll show budgets and things like that, and then we'll get forward to the deadline day. First deadline day we'll see with money for the smaller clubs, and we see if anything happens. And then we'll just skip to the end of the second season. So, as you can see, budget isn't that spectacular. It's 10 million, which is certainly a lot more than Coventry would get in the second season of career mode, as in terms of normal career modes, whether they get into League One or not. So it's increased quite a bit. 10 million. I'd imagine there'll be some teams that have it a bit more, but honestly, who knows? Alright, let's skip forward to deadline day now. Lots of simming. It's quite a boring experience. Oh, actually, hang on. Charlton got up through the playoffs. Charlton are there, so that's a good point. Let's quickly check that before we... No, balls. Let's quickly check what everyone's doing. Come on. So obviously Charlton went up. Off the top of my head, who was the others? Bradford and Oxford. There we go. In the Championship, is there any... Derby went up, Leeds went up, and Millwall got up through the playoffs as well. Out of the 4 teams in there, they're probably the ones I least expected. Oh crap, that's France. We don't want France. Who cares about France? League One, obviously Chelsea are back in there. Man City did go up, so Man City, Man United, and Spurs. That's it. So the likes of Arsenal and Liverpool have to spend another season in League Two. But looking at it though, you'd expect those two to go up in this league now, wouldn't you? So that's the leagues for the second season. Okay, now we can go ahead to deadline day and see what's going on. Right, we're here on deadline day now, and has anything happened whatsoever? Barnet have spent 1.4 million. That would never happen in life. Humphreys Grant is the only name now I can recognise, and Bradford 3 million. Musa, is that Moose? That's probably not him, is it? Chapman, I'm guessing that's Chapman from Blackburn. Coventry have spent about 1 million. Charlton 2 million. So the teams coming up have spent more. Cheltenham 2.7 million. Sandfield? I'm guessing that's Sandfield at the top. 2.8 million for Chesterfield. No players I've heard of. Crawley, the champions, obviously have spent 2.3 million. 9 million, 450k. 1 million, 2 million, 1 million, 4 million. No, Oxford again. So the teams coming up are certainly looking to make a statement by the looks of things. Anything. Literally nothing involving our clubs whatsoever, our English clubs whatsoever. Sobby's left Stoke for 20 odd million. There's something. Coleman's left Everton. See, literally all that seems to be happening is English teams are getting purged and aren't really replacing. Oh, there's Halilovic went to Arsenal for 15 million, so I'm sure he'll love League Two. Origi's left. I forgot Origi's even there, to be honest. Gray's left Leicester. Loads leaving, haven't we? There's not. So nothing really major. I think we're just, once again, we'll go to the end and we'll see what's what. Right, here we are at the end of season 2, and as you can see, as we said during the transfers, it looked like the teams that have came up were gonna be three of the main challengers in this second season, and that has been the case. Charlton have won the league, having got promoted from the Championship in the first season. They're now Premier League champions. Oxford are there in third, and Bradford are in fourth. The one League Two side in real life that's still repping the squad in the top 4 is Mansfield. They've got second, and fair play to them for that. As you can see, our own Coventry have improved massively. They're up in 7th. Colchester and Cambridge are also up there. Stevenage, Grimsby and Yeovil are going down, so rip them. Forest Green had European football, I believe, as well. They finished 14th. Other than that, if you want to pause it, you can pause it. But that's pretty much it for that. It's the same in the Championship as well. Leeds and Derby obviously coming up. They're storming up. Leeds won the league by 13 points. Derby were also 13 points clear of third. So fairly straightforward for those two. Millwall had to settle for 4th in the playoffs with Scunthorpe, Portsmouth and Luton, so Portsmouth going for it again. Obviously missed out in the last season. As for relegation, Oldham, Northampton and Wickham are biting the dust here, so RIP them, I suppose. Port Vale struggled on their return. Other than that, I think all the teams that went down stayed up in the division, so always got that going for them. And League One, unsurprisingly, Manchester United won the league again. It looks like Manchester United are going to probably be the one of the few teams to get back right up there straight away and reclaim their dominance. Chelsea following them all the way though. Tottenham and Man City had to settle with the playoffs. I find it highly unlikely that Norwich or Nottingham Forest won these, but you never know. I suppose you never know.
and Accrington continue their fall because they were in Championship last time. They're back in League Two now. So are Exeter. Fleetwood also following them all the way down. And once again, Wigan have stayed up by one place, a lot closer this time. Jeez, actually no, they haven't. 21st is relegation place, isn't it? So they haven't. Wigan have gone down this time. They're not as lucky on this occasion. And finally, League Two, as we expected, Arsenal, Liverpool and Everton, they all missed out in the first season. They're the three that got up in the second. Arsenal winning the league. Liverpool still haven't got a league title, bless them. And Everton following their Merseyside rivals up. West Ham, Newcastle, Swansea and Southampton got the playoff places. So League Two, in the first two seasons, the 7 teams, 6 of the teams anyway, that you expect to go up did. The 7 of the teams that you expect to go up did. Shrewsbury, Burton and Rotherham towards the bottom. As for other competitions now, let's start with the FA Cup. Tottenham won that, so they may have missed out on the League One title to Man United, but Tottenham won the FA Cup. Interestingly, the quarter-final was they're not too overpowered, are they? You got Blackpool, Northampton, Sheffield Wednesday, Carlisle will stay in there. Carlisle only lost 2-1 to Man United, so that's not a bad result for them. Maybe the gap's getting smaller, you never know. As for the Carabao Cup, Chelsea won that. I think they won that. That's 2 years in a row, isn't it? And that looks a little bit more normal. Grimsby did alright now. Only 1-0 to Tottenham, so it's not like they're getting stuffed when they get them. If anything, Newcastle was 5-0. That's pretty poor, isn't it? Bayern Munich won the Cup of Europe, if you care. As for, is there any no English teams there? What about the Euro League? Why would we expect an English team to be that far? Man City, obviously. Man City got through due to the winning the FA Cup. They made it to the final where they lost to Wolfsburg. So as I said, based on the transfers at least that I've seen, European teams are certainly taking advantage of English football being turned upside down. Man City couldn't beat Wolfsburg, so there's that. We'll check the tables as well. First season, it was a relatively impressive showing by some of the League Two clubs. This time, though, Crawley only got 1 point. I say only 1 point's still pretty decent for them. Where are the rest of them? Mansfield got 0 points. Lincoln got 4 points. I'm guessing someone missed out because of the qualification point. But Lincoln were our best team now. I'm just going to check. Yeah, it looks like Lincoln were our best hopefuls there. We'll quickly check the Euro League as well. Come on. Colchester 4 points, so that's relatively good. They win the same group as the eventual winners, so fair play. Man City obviously won their group. Chelsea won their group as well because they obviously through the League Cup got through. So it looks like Chelsea got knocked out relatively early, really, didn't they? Anyone else? No. So that's all that. How's money looking? Again, they've made quite a lot of money. Oh, we got good a nice work is what I'm trying to say from the board. That's what I was looking for. We've made a lot of money. The club worth is now 265 million, so that's not bad, is it?
So that wraps up part 1. Part 2, we're going to the next few seasons and look at various other things that should get more interesting at that point. If you enjoyed, leave a like. If you're a fan of FIFA, specifically career mode, then do check out my Rebuilding Sunderland career mode and my Can career mode. The playlist will be in the description. And if you enjoyed this video or you enjoy them, be sure to subscribe. It would mean a lot. And yeah, that very much wraps up. Like I say, part 2 will be out in the next couple of days. So yeah, look out for that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.